Hello! This is CP666 signing on for a little bit of a different video. Usually you don't see my face on the camera. Well, I'm finally actually getting around to doing the questions and answers video. I know I promised that it would be out, I think, at the end of last year, and it is now... Well, today's actually March. I've recorded a lot of this before now, and I'm only just now getting around to editing it. If you can't already tell, I'm tired at this particular point in time, and the only reason why I'm here right now is actually because of recent developments, or recent developments as of January, with regards to upload length. You see, this is going to be a rather long video, or if it's not too long, because I haven't edited the whole thing yet, it'll certainly be at least a little bit over 15 minutes, and I'm going to have to move it into 2 videos. I'll probably just move it into 2-minute, or I'll split it up into 10-minute segments anyways, because I don't think you should be forced to sit through goodness only knows how long. Like, I don't even think 15 minutes for Q&A. Like, maybe I'll split it up a little bit like that, so that's a little bit easier to search through, and, well, there you go. So, because this is being recorded sort of out of order, I guess you could say. You can probably tell I'm tired, really. But because it's being recorded like it is, there'll probably be several takes with me, either with or without glasses on, with different hairstyles, with different shirts on. I mean, what are you going to do, really? There's not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do about that right now. So, how it's going to work is in the video description down below, you will see a link to the first video, you'll see a link to the previous video, and to the next video, if applicable. And there will also be a list of YouTube usernames down below, and I might post a list of questions on like Google Drive or whatever, and maybe post that in. You can say, oh, this question was answered in this video, or this question was answered in that video, because that just makes my life easy. Not all of these questions are associated with a username, because I either forgot to take it down, or it was asked through private message. I did actually accept questions through private message for the people who didn't want their name being publicly shared for one reason or another. I've also received some in person, so there you go. But that was a separate thing, that wasn't part of this video, and I'm just throwing it all together because I don't feel like making a whole bunch of different videos. Alright, let's get started. You'll have to forgive me for looking over to the side. I've got a laptop here with all of the questions on them that are on YouTube, and I've also got a list right here of various questions that I've received outside of YouTube, and also there are a couple of them that I received through private message that are on this piece of paper from people who wanted to remain anonymous. I know a couple, like looking at this, I know a couple who asked a couple of these, but a lot of them were either anonymous on YouTube or through my live stream, and I just forgot to write down who did it. But we'll answer these, we'll answer this, so let's get started. Bird, get out of here. YouTube user A5E26 asks, what is your favorite animal? Well, I don't pick favorites, for a lot of you that know me. There's a couple of reasons why I don't pick favorites. It's because usually when I pick favorites, somebody always tells me that I'm totally wrong, or I end up, changing that favorite thing after a short period of time. And, really, there's not a whole lot. I have a list of things I don't like, but I don't really have anything that I like the most, because I just really can't pick. It usually changes depending on, the time of day, time of year, or whatever. I think we all know what I happen to have as a pet. Mr. McGuire has got a couple of questions here. I'm going to steal a question that UXW Bill asked Spats Bear and Harley Badger, since I think it's a good one. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be? Also, what is your great ambition in life? Well, if I could live anywhere in the entire world, I actually don't know. In the entire world, let's see. Is there somewhere I would want to actually be? There's a lot of things that I would like to see that are both here in North America and also in Europe and in Asia and all kinds of places. There's a lot of things that I would like to see. Really, realistically, I would like to live somewhere that combines the best of everything from everywhere. But that's not going to be plunged into the middle of just a total war zone in like 5 minutes or something. But really, I don't know. I guess I'm okay here. I don't mind this place, really, despite the fact that there's neighbors across the street that do nothing but have sex all the time. Really, I don't think I could find myself getting used to anything but this, now that I am used to all of the crap that goes on here, so... I don't know, I guess you were expecting a better answer to that question than what I gave you, but... Really, to be quite honest, I don't mind it here, and I don't mind it really anywhere else I have been. I haven't really been to anywhere where I've said, wow, I really don't want to be here, this place sucks. Except, I mean, I guess there's little areas and places that are like that. But it's like that with everything, you're always going to find something you don't like about something. That's just the way that it happens to be. What is my great ambition in life? Well, let's see, how should I answer this? I don't know if I should answer this with an actual answer or if I should be sarcastic about it, because if you want the actual answer, my answer is, I don't know, maybe to live for a little bit. Enjoy life to its fullest and that kind of stuff. But the sarcastic answer would be, I think my great ambition is to do exactly what I'm doing right now, and that is collect so much junk that I have nowhere to put it. The next question comes way of Blacklight8001, who wrote in to ask, based on one of your Smash videos and the name of your website, you were into fire alarms. My question is, how come you never showed any fire alarm related stuff on YouTube? Well, I'm assuming that this doesn't count, or this kind of stuff. Right here. I do have a video, you can see it playing in the background, I think, if I decide to actually green screen this like I'm planning on doing. You'll see some of that in the background, but I did have a video of this, but other than that, really, the real reason why I don't have any of that is because I don't have the space for it. I don't have the time for it, and I don't have the money for it. It's just another hobby that I'd like to get into more, but I just really can't because I don't have the space or the money or the time. It's like that with a lot of things. I'd like to get a lot more computers. I'd like to get a lot more into vintage cars, and that bird clock just interrupted me again. I hate that thing. It always turns off at the wrong time, right? I'd like to get more into vintage cars. I would like to get into all kinds of things. Collecting CDs and vinyl and tapes and all of that. I just don't have the space for it, or the money, or the time. But space is really a big limiting factor. This room is only maybe about 9 feet. There we go, 9 feet square in all directions with a closet in it, which is not really all that big once you start putting a bed, a dresser, a desk, 2 desks actually, and then a whole bunch of storage things all over the place. Plus, coupled with the fact that there's a lot of junk on the floor, yeah, you really start to run out of space pretty quickly. Chris Master 1 writes in to ask, how does food become poo? And the real answer to that is that it's all related to dark magic. I can't believe I kept a straight face while saying that. Millennium Edition 56 asks 3 different questions, the first of which is, what is your favorite food? Again, I don't really pick favorites, but I'd have to say that on the very high up on that list happens to be the golden hash brown mix. I like donuts. Where is it? Quality Street chocolate, that's up there. Basically any chocolate, as long as it doesn't have peanuts in it, because I hate peanuts. And that's really it. But I don't really pick favorites. There is a long list. In fact, there's probably a list longer than an entire sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper of things that I happen to like the most. The second question is, what is your opinion about the news? No news is good news. The third question is, can I have $1 million? Well, I don't even have $1 million to give. I don't even have $1 million for myself. So, unfortunately, you won't be getting $1 million from me. At least not anytime in the very near future. There are a couple of questions on here. There are 3 more by UXW Bill that were asked way back when I first published this video. But for whatever reason, thanks to Google's absolutely stupendous mission for data integrity, the comment has disappeared not once but twice. It came back for a little bit, that would have been about a week ago? Came back for a little bit, and then it disappeared again. I don't have it here on my list. I only have let's see, let's sort by top comments. Nope, I've only got 5, and there were 6 I know that were posted to that video. Fortunately, I have a very long memory, and apparently that very long memory, which is usually only good for remembering things I don't actually need to remember, actually managed to remember, I think, the questions. So we'll see if I can do this off the top of my head. The first question, I think, was how many programming languages have you used? Whew, do you want the whole list? It's long, let me tell you, but the ones I've used the most: C, C++, I've used a little bit of Java, I do PHP. I'm not going to count JavaScript because that's scripting, not programming, although technically you could consider it a programming language. I've used a bit of Perl. I'm not going to count Batch or VBScript because again that's scripting. Basic, I've done a little bit of Basic. I've done Fortran. I have done, oh crap, I'm not going to count the visual stuff because that's, nobody cares about that. Done a little bit of Ruby, and I have done a little bit of C#. Oh yeah, and a little bit of assembly too. I know just enough in assembly to be dangerous, basically. But I probably could not write something right off the top of my head that actually worked. I definitely have to look at some of the documentation and whatnot. And let me tell you, if any of you want to get into assembly, my answer is don't. That's my best advice. Don't do it, because it's a lot of work, and a lot of hard work at that. It is, but I think it's the second lowest level you can get. Machine code or object code or whatever it's called is below that, and that's what runs directly on that particular system. So assembly is specific to, I think it's processor architecture and a set of hardware. That's what it's limited to. Device drivers are most often written in assembly as well as operating systems. And when you do what's called disassembly on a program, that's what you get. So alright, and the second question, off the top of my head, was, are there something about books having to do with, I think PHP was the language that was specified, and I thought I had one downstairs. I just actually went to go look for it, and I can't find it anywhere. So either somebody took it, or I just have had a total mind blank, and I can't find it. But there is a book, there's a series, I believe, called In Easy Steps. That was pretty good. I have the HTML, and that's got a little bit of PHP in it. I think it's called HTML in Easy Steps. I'd have to look, and I'll probably put it in like an annotation or something. The book is under my bed, and I don't think I'm ever going to get to that. So other than that, there's really not a whole lot. I don't usually get by reading books. I usually get by reading the documentation and just experimentation on something that's not mission critical at all before putting it into a mission critical setting where it's going to be secure and all of that. You know, I usually just work on it by experimentation. You know, I try something out and try to make it secure and all of this, and if it doesn't work, try a couple other things and just get it working to a point where I can say, this is secure and this actually is useful, and then I move it over to something else. So that's really how I do things. That approach probably doesn't work for everybody. I wish I could answer that a little bit better, but it has been a while since I have looked into buying any coding related books. So I can probably look again and post a follow-up at the end of this, because I'm probably not going to upload it for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So I can probably add on to this in a bit. In fact, I might even go tomorrow and take a look at some, but I will definitely have to get back to you on that. And then the last question, I remember this one well because it's already actually been asked: can I have $1 million? Well, now I need to get $2 million to give out to people. Actually, $3 million, because I want $1 million for myself too, right?